Hey there, I'm Sarah.
I'm Becca.
We are half of the board of directors for the atheist community of Polk County. And so we'll kind of, I think, use this format to communicate some things out to folks while we're getting things going here.
Mm.
Just a little background. We started this as a Facebook group a little less than a year ago, and we incorporated the atheist community of Polk County Inc. in March of this year. So we are officially recognized now as a nonprofit corporation in the state of Florida. And we are in the process of getting our 501c3 status so that we can accept donations and that sort of thing, and you be able to claim such donations on your taxes, and it allows us to access some other things too. Um, what you'll get from us, I can guarantee you this, is uh, over transparency. I will over communicate. Because I want you to know what's going on. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
know what we're thinking, what we're working on, what we're doing. Because this isn't a dictatorship. This isn't my thing. Like it was. This is something that I've always wanted to do, and I saw a need, and I wanted to jump on that and make this thing happen. But none of that means anything unless the people who are seeking such a community are involved and know what's going on and are a part of it. So that's my promise to you. I will over communicate. I will be very transparent. So, um, so we've started the organization. We are rolling out all of the programs that kind of line up with the interests of the people who have already joined the group and who we have filled out the survey. And so we've kind of got an idea of what people want from this and what people in Polk County want to see in a secular community like this. Now, the point of this particular update is not to take you through the entire what is the atheist community of Polk County. We do have a public meeting coming up for that we would love for you all to attend, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But what I wanted to talk about in this particular video is last night. What is today? Today is April 13th. Last night, we and our partners, the other two board members, had a booth at the Relay for Life in Winter Haven, and we participated. We created a team. Some of you donated. We'll talk about that in a moment. And it was a really good experience
Mm-hmm.
to to be involved and to have our name out there. We had our booth set up with our logo on the table, and it was good to get that exposure, but also to show that like we don't believe in your God, but we do believe cancer needs to die.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have got to solve this problem, and the way we do that is through science. And so we were there really as a representative of logical, skeptical, reasoned solutions to real world problems. And I don't know about you, but when we listened to the opening ceremonies, it was a lot of and my God and
Oh
God
yeah.
this and God that and God bless America. And
Mm-hmm. Mm.
and I will share. Look, if you're in a situation like that, you're battling cancer, or you've battled cancer and you defeated it, or and your religious beliefs helped you through that. Good on you. There's no way in the world I would think to come in and poke that with a stick. I wouldn't do that, right? If that's what got you through, good for you. We're glad you're here. But that said, the solution to cancer, the cure to cancer, is going to come from scientific inquiry and the process. And that's what I hope to represent as the atheist community of Polk County and being at that event.
Right.
Now, we did interact with quite a few people. If you want to maybe talk about that a little bit.
We did. We had surprisingly, I think all of us were a little taken aback about how positive most of our interactions were. Really only like one or two that were kind of like, okay, whatever. But the majority of people that we did talk to were very happy to see us. On the believers side of the court, they were all very welcoming and very friendly. But there was a lot of people that were just really excited to see us and were congratulating us on being out and being visible. And
Talking about the bravery that it takes to, come out to an event like this and hang your atheist sign up.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And I totally get that. If many of you have commented either privately or in our groups, Polk County has kind of its reputation precedes itself, let's say.
Yeah.
Right? We're known as kind of a rural backwoods hillfolk sort of rednecky gods and guns and country, right? Like, and the statistics don't bear that out. Let me give you that bit of hope, right? When we look at some of the research and the polling, there are a lot more secular people here in Polk County than I realized, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Than you probably realize. And so that gives me hope when I think about the future of this organization and what we can do. One of the things that Keith, one of our other directors, and I were talking about at the event was, how new we are and how small our group is. And, we're trying to get more of you to be able to get involved and come out to events. And so we are putting events out there, rapid fire, very quickly, trying to get things growing and get you involved and get your ownership in this vessel, so that we can go out and do some great things in Polk County. And so we'll talk about some of those events in a little bit. But what I want to say is, to those of you who can't, right? We do have several people in the group. We have our private Facebook group, right? We do have several people in that group who have expressed concerns about being able to be openly identified as an atheist. Again, in large part, many of them for their employment. Think of people like teachers who, if they're standing around at the atheist booth with their, atheist shirt on at an event, and one of their students comes up and sees them, or the parents, it could just cause problems for them.
Sure.
And that's frustrating as hell to me. And that's, to me, just paints the picture of why we've got to do this and why we need to do what we're doing. That we who can be out and can be public are doing it on behalf of those who can't. So that one day, hopefully sooner than later, one day you will be able to come out and identify as, I just don't believe in that stuff, and it not be a big deal. That's really what this is all about. We want to create a community for people to be able to get together with like-minded individuals and have conversations. We want to educate ourselves about things that we're interested in as a group, that our members are find interesting, the social issues and political things that we find challenging, things to discuss. We want to be activists in a way when it comes to equality. When equality is under attack, atheists have to be there. When you see things that are happening right now in state legislatures all across these United States, they're all attacks on equality, and it's put on by the Congressional Prayer Caucus Foundation's Project Blitz. I'll be speaking about that in Central Florida at the Central Florida Freethought community, Winter Park, on Easter Sunday. That'll be fun. And then I'm sure I will give some variation of that presentation to our group at some point as well. But Project
definitely.
Blitz is an effort to install Christian dominionism in our country, and it's its attacks are all on equality. It's all against women's rights. It's against LGBTQ rights. All of this stuff is privileging religion over all else. It's giving the religious discrimination card the right to the Trump card, the right to discriminate against all others. Religion in that hierarchy is on top. And that includes the non-religious. And so when it comes to these things, that's why we're going to be at Pride in June. We're going to go out to say, like, listen, we support equality. Because as atheists, we know what it's like to be infringed upon by a majority. We know what it feels like to be the minority. And obviously, I'm at the crossroads of both of those communities. So this is, very personal to me. Did I miss anything?
I don't know where you were taking this train. So did you miss anything?
Community engagement. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about. So we want to get involved in the community. That's the other piece to this puzzle. We want to get out there and give back and do great things in our communities here in Polk County. And that we're looking at a wide range of things, from cleanup events to, raising funds or collecting items for school kids who are homeless or in transition. Like, there's so much that we can do here in Polk County. And again, by doing those things in the name of the atheist community of Polk County, we're sending the message that, like, you can be good without God.
Yep.
That we are here to be involved in the community, that we do care, that we are moral people. We are your neighbors. We care about our families just like you. We worry about the future just like everybody else. And we're willing to go out there and put the hard work into doing great things in our community. And that goes back into the overall image of what atheists are, what we stand for, what we, quote, believe in, when people consider who we are, that allows people who currently cannot feel comfortable to come out to be able to come out in the future. All of this stuff ties in together for that greater purpose of normalizing atheism and showing that we are a positive force for our communities. So let's talk a little bit about, I want to talk about the events that we have coming up. But first, I just want to say, at the Relay for Life, we had a really great time.
We did.
It was a well-organized event. Well, one of the, I've been to a few of them, participated in a few of them, and it was one of the better ones. It was smallish, comfortable, I would say. There were two churches that we know of that were there. Mm-hmm. One of them was at our 1 o'clock, across the road from our booth.
We could see them and wave at them.
And if you have a picture in your mind of what Polk County is as far as religiosity goes, I hope to challenge you by telling you how that all went. Because aside from one interaction that I can think of that I had, the most of it was positive. There were people who came by who are religious folks who just wanted to thank us for being there, who recognized that even though we disagree on the God question, that we're both working towards this common goal, right, of supporting an organization that's trying to defeat cancer and support people, who are going through treatment. That in this country, we all have the right to believe or not to believe, and that they respect that. And so I'm here to tell you, if you've ever felt like we're at odds with each other, that the belief and non-belief communities are just completely incompatible, I'm here to tell you that's not entirely true. Yes, there are some hate churches out there that we are going to oppose, right? But there are plenty of churches that I've looked up whose websites say we support the separation of church and state, and they do so because they understand that it protects them too from some other religion being installed into the government and actually persecuting them. So take some comfort in that they're not, it's not an us and them. We're not against each other. There are people in the faith community that we will be able to work with, that we will be able to write joint statements against certain legislation and things like that. So I walked away with a very positive image of what this community, of what this county can be. The one negative I'll draw attention to, I'll tell you the story. The one negative was a guy that walked up to our booth and saw the Atheist Community of Polk County sign and kind of took it in a minute and then looked up at me and said, "Atheists? Are you serious?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he, "Well, I'll pray for you," in his loving Christian way as he walked away. But that was it, guys. That's one out of how many hundreds of people were there.
Yeah.
So I have such a positive takeaway from that experience. I am so excited for what this organization can be and what we can do when we all come together, when the word gets out, when more people find out about us and get involved, and we are going to do some great things in Polk County, and I'm just super excited about that. The last thing I have on the Relay for Life is we want to thank the folks that helped us reach our fundraising. John, Heather, Alicia, and then there were 2 anonymous donors. And I have to say, again, for being such a small group, as far as we can enumerate in our online communities, and for being so relatively new in organizing this community, we raised over $500 for the American Cancer Society with Relay for Life. And I am so humbled and thrilled and proud that is a thing that happened. That we have people that care and will do that. I absolutely love it, and that gives me another hope for this organization going forward.
Well, and we had a gentleman actually there at the event who stopped by our tent to talk and gave us a couple bucks for a donation for our team. To our team that will go along with all of these other donations. So that was really cool. I think that was a highlight because we weren't expecting that, because we weren't asking for donations at the event. There were a lot of tents that had set up different things. They were selling popcorn or cookies or whatever, different types of little things to raise more funds at the event, and we didn't even know that was a thing, so we didn't really go with those types of ideas.
Next year we have lots of great ideas.
Now we do. Now we have those ideas now that we know we can do that.
Yeah.
We've tabled at other events before for other things, and I think that's probably why we didn't realize it, is because anywhere we've tabled it's, or if you're a vendor or if you're a nonprofit, it's 2 different things. Yeah. And this one was kind of a different type of event, so it's probably why we didn't even go there when we were thinking about what to have at our booth. But next year we'll hit them strong.
Absolutely. So again, when what did I say? We were 14th or 15th on the list as far as total fundraising went. And that is just absolutely fantastic and amazing, and it gets the name out there with a positive connotation. This is all about putting a positive face to atheism and showing people that we are just good people who want to do good things in the world and be good neighbors and be good citizens and good stewards of our community. And that's absolutely what all of this is about. So thank you to those of you who donated. thank you to those of you who stopped by and talked to us. If you happen to catch this, we had a great time chatting with people. Now, I want to tell you about some upcoming events. If you want to get involved with the atheist community of Polk County, there are several events that we're not sitting underneath the atheist banner, so to speak. If you want to come out and have interaction with some like-minded individuals, but not necessarily wear the scarlet letter, right? So I'm going to take you through the April and May events, and then maybe we'll do this once or twice a month. We'll put up a new video and talk about sort of the community calendar. So on Thursday, April 18th at 9 a.m., we are going to be meeting in Haines City for a breakfast social. That's at Nico's Egg City, which is a great breakfast place. We eat there pretty often, actually.
Yeah.
I was going to say all the time, but it's not really all the time. But when we go out for breakfast, that's where we go.
Maybe once a month.
They're fantastic.
Something like
that. Then on April 20th, that's Saturday, we have a blueberry you pick. We're going to go out to Whitehead's Blueberry Farm in Winter Haven.
I love picking blueberries.
And pick blueberries, yeah.
Fun.
And hey, they're a superfruit.
Yeah.
Where's my skeptics?
Oh my God.
On April 30th, that's a Tuesday, there's another breakfast social, this time in Winter Haven, and both of those are breakfast meetups are at 9 a.m., and that is at the Panera on Landings Boulevard. And the breakfast ones, again, those are just a good time to get together and get to know each other and chat. And the intent is that we will be moving these to different locations throughout the county, so that if you live in Bartow, eventually there's going to come around a thing that's in Bartow that you can, that's convenient for you to go to.
And also, if you live in Bartow or wherever, if you want to reach out to us and make suggestions, if you know of a good place to meet up with breakfast that has, a good place to eat, and let us know
for a group, and
we can try to put it into one of these calendars, because that's another thing, we want you to be involved.
Yeah.
So if you have suggestions on things to do, please don't be afraid to reach out, and you can send us messages, or you can make a post in our page or whatever. We'll try to be accessible, but we are open to suggestions.
Right. And we are currently building up the various committees that will sort of be in charge of, all of these different scheduling and events and things. But when I created this thing, I should have talked about this sooner. When I thought, you know what, let's just make our own, right? I had looked at other groups that were in the area. Some of them were maybe not as active as I for myself as a member that I would have wanted, or they were small and not established, and there didn't seem to be a robust community, right? And that's what I've always wanted. And so I looked at groups like the Central Florida Freethought community in the Orlando area, and they're fantastic, and I love a lot of the things that they're doing, but they're in Orlando, and that's a long drive.
Yeah.
Right. The Tampa has Clearwater, St. Pete area. They have 3 or 4 groups that are great. That's a long drive. And so I said, I want all of those things in my backyard.
Right.
I want all of those things here that are close that we can get to and do and really be a part of. Okay, fine. Let's just make our own. Right. And that's really how this whole thing started. And so we are conscious of the fact that not everybody works the same schedule. We all don't live in the exact same town, right? We live in the same county, but even then, from one side to the other is it's a trip sometimes. That we all have different interests, that we all have different work schedules, that we all have different things going on, right? Yep. And so we are putting intentionality into creating these programs so that we can try to offer things for as many people as possible in as many places as possible at many different times as possible. Things that are interesting for you come out and have breakfast with us, or next week it's let's go to the a local bar and have drinks together and chat. And then the next week, it may be, let's go meet up at a park. And it may be tailored more towards parents with kids, and we can all bring our kids out and let them play while we get to know each other. And right. So you have all of these different diverse personalities, and we really want to create our programs tailored to as many of have hit all of those boxes as possible, I guess. All right. So the last two things on the calendar for you are in May. In May 25th, at the Lake Wales Public Library, we're going to kick off our educational speaker series. And that will be at the Lake Wales Public Library until we outgrow the space. They have a very limited capacity in the room that we're in, so we may outgrow that fast, and then we'll be on the look for a new place, which will be exciting. But that first event will be a chance for you to meet all of us, the board of directors. We'll present a little bit more, some of what we talked about here, but a little bit more about what the community is intended to be, what we're working on, the things that our goals, our mission, our vision, what we want to do with this thing. And then there'll be an opportunity for some Q&A if you want to throw up some suggestions, and just kind of interact. And then there will be some time for just some social chat afterwards. So again, that's May 25th at the Lake Wales Public Library at 2 p.m. And then the following day, we're going to kick off on May 26th the volunteer service project with the Great American Cleanup. So on the 26th, we're doing the Great American Cleanup in Bartow. There's a location that we've been assigned by Keep Polk County Beautiful for us to go as a group and clean up. And that's part of this annual event called the Great American Cleanup. That will also kick off a regular routine cleaning service project by the atheist community of Polk County that we will do on a regular basis, where we have adopted a road also through Keep Polk County Beautiful, which I understand comes with a fancy sign on the side of the road that says, the people cleaning this road are heathens.
It doesn't say that.
But it could. It'll say that the atheist community of Polk County, right, has adopted this road. And so then we'll go out and get to spend time together and hang out and do some good things, clean up, good for the environment, on a regular basis. So for those of you who are interested in volunteering and service and that sort of thing, we'll have programs for that too. So we're really trying to build this out and be a diverse, robust community for as many people as we can possibly cater to. But we'd love to hear your ideas. We're going to put up some links here for our website, for our Facebook, for the Twitter and Instagram and Meetup, and I'm not sure what all's on there. We are all over the internet. Look up the atheist community of Polk County, and you'll find us somewhere. And if you want to reach out to us, please do. We would love to hear from you and find out, what we can offer you, what you want to get out of the community, because this is really all about you and us coming together to do great things. Final words?
I'm just super excited. I'm happy to see the growth that we've already seen, and I can't wait to see where we go from here.
All right. Well, till next time, we'll put up those links now, and we'll see you on the next broadcast.